On to the next topic here on Behind the Pen, and honestly, this one isn't much happier. It's the Chicago Bears, and they make me sad. They make really the city of Chicago sad because, boy, they're bad. Oh, they're not good. They're not good, and I keep kicking myself for thinking that this team could be competitive, 10-6, possibly a playoff team, wild card spot. Nope. This is just not a good team. There's not enough talent. And I felt like they had a decent amount of depth going into this season. And really, for them to be good, everything really had to fall their way. You know, injuries couldn't have that much of an impact on this team. But it is so far. They lost Kadeem Carey. He's got a hamstring injury. Jay Cutler hurt his thumb. I don't think Jay Cutler would have made any difference in this offense because Dowell Loggins is an idiot. He's the go. Kyle Long's dealing with... You know what? Honestly... Kyle Long's playing with a torn labrum in his shoulder. Why? Just sit him out at this point. Save him. Save him from being another Pernell McPhee. Pernell McPhee last year, he's still out, yelling at Cutler on the sidelines in street clothes. He played unnecessarily last season with a knee injury, and now he's going to be out for the first 6 to 10 weeks. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. His season's over anyway. Jonathan Bullard, he's got a toe injury. Terrell Freeman. He's on the injury report. I only mentioned that because I'm reading off the injury report right now, but he's their best player right now, overall. Defense, offense, he's their guy. Well, Alshon Jeffrey too. But Jeffrey's dealing with some kind of injury, as he always is, but he's going to play, it looks like. He played last Sunday, did okay, but they don't get the ball to him enough. They just don't. Jeremy Langford's got an ankle injury. Sherrick McManus has a hamstring. Sherrick McManus, my God, you're depending on a guy to fill in at corner or nickel in the nickel slot on defense. It's Sherrick McManus. You're in trouble. I mean, he's great special teams wise, but other than that, I hate it. Willie Young was a limited participant in practice. They lost Lamar Houston for the year. I mean, this is rough. This is rough. But all right, I want to talk about some things with you guys and some stuff about the Chicago Bears and really what can we look forward to going into this week against Detroit at home. Honestly, they have a chance to win this game. And last year they went 0-3. They beat Oakland for their first win of the year in a Robbie Gould game winner. But now it's going to be Connor Barth, baby. Good as Barth for the inside of 40, but even though he missed his only attempt at whatever, who cares? This is so bad. But anyway, going into this Lions game, I want to see some sort of identity trying to be established within this offensive play calling system that Dowell Loggins has implemented. No matter who's playing quarterback, really, it shouldn't matter because you have 2 all-pro guards and a pretty solid center, and you're not running the ball enough. You bring in Bobby Massey, who's terrible in pass protection. I could bash Massey all day. But in the run game, he's okay. But they're not running enough. So hopefully we see the run. I'm thinking to myself, what if they ran the ball like 50 times with Joique Bell, newly added Joique Bell, by the way. He was signed this week because it looks like Langford's going to miss an extended amount of time. So that means Jordan Howard's going to get some snaps, and that's a good thing. A lot of positives I saw from Jordan Howard last week. He caught the ball well out of the backfield, and he was able to read the gaps pretty well. He was able to hit the holes. He did okay. I'm looking to see progression from young players. If you guys have checked out my reaction videos, I'm going to do that every week. Thank you very much for checking that out. But I mentioned, really, I was impressed with these young players, and I want to see that. I guess Nick Kwiatkowski played for the first time all season. He was the first time he was healthy, I believe. I want to see more players like him on the field. I mean, these are guys. I'm getting flashbacks. Guys being signed off the street to just jump in and start. I've never heard of them. Can I ask you guys this? Who the hell was number 22? I think he was a corner. Yeah, he was in the secondary. But he was on the field last week against the Cowboys, and I don't know who that is. And I'm too lazy to look up the depth chart because I don't care enough. But I care enough to ask you guys. Please, help me out. Because I want to know. Because I had a pretty decent understanding of how this roster was shaped up. And suddenly we lost 8 starters against, was it Philly? It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. This team is kind of blue right now. And I don't know. We can talk about tanking. We can talk about getting a high draft pick all we want. But realistically, this team, they can't be as bad as what they are now, right? they could win 5 to 7 games this year, right? I mean, their schedule isn't tough. I mean, they probably ran into their toughest stretch already in Houston, Dallas, and Philly. You look ahead to Detroit. They have to play Indy. Well, they're not going to even come close to be. I am so not looking forward to them when they play the Vikings because that defense is so fierce and they're going to get to the quarterback so often. It'll be like, what was it? Whatever that year was when Jay Cutler got sacked 8 or 7 times in the first half on Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants. I'm afraid that it's going to be whoever's starting against the Vikings, it's going to be the same story because they can't do anything. They can't do anything. And I am so very close, guys, to jumping on the fire Dowell Loggins train because it really bothers me. Really, his offensive play calling. You're talking about having a guy with an offensive play style. Really, to be an offensive coordinator in this league, you have to be kind of creative. And really, you look at Dowell Loggins, and he's just calling plays for the sake of calling them, right? I mean, in theory, like a bubble screen would work, and maybe it works in practice, but I mean, you get into the game, and it's 3rd and 5, and you split out your running back, and he's running 3 yards out and not even getting to the sticks, and that's the designed play. There was another designed play. I forget who it was, too, because I didn't care enough. But I keep saying that, and I shouldn't. It's 3 weeks into the season. Why am I at this point already with the Bears? God, it sucks. But somebody was split out wide, and it was a designed screen pass with 2 downfield receivers blocking. And it got stuffed behind the line, of course, because it was a stupid-ass play call. But it's stuff like that just makes you scratch your head. It's like you drafted Kevin White to be this athletic down-the-field threat. You have Alshon Jeffrey who can beat a guy one-on-one, even in double coverage. Just throw the ball up in the air, he'll jump up and grab it. He's probably a top 5 get-up-and-get-it guys in the league, and you're not taking advantage of it. It's stuff like that. Zach Miller is a very reliable offensive weapon, and you're not getting the ball to him. You're going to get him killed if you throw it over the middle, like in the 3rd or 4th quarter of the Dallas game. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. He got leveled. He got up and, whatever. But still, like if that's the offense you have planned for Zach Miller, then this team is going to be he's going to be injured. It's plain and simple. I was listening to my favorite Chicago sports radio station, 670 The Score, and one of the hosts, Matt Spiegel, came up with this idea that his dream scenario was the Bears to go, 3-13 or whatever, and the Saints to suck. So the Saints would fire Sean Payton, and the Bears would get a high draft pick. They fire John Fox. They draft a quarterback, whether it's Kaiser, Watson, whoever's on the board, whatever. And they bring in Sean Payton, and then this relationship comes together with the newly drafted quarterback and Sean Payton as your head coach. And then he possibly brings in a competent offensive mind. Well, because obviously it's Sean Payton's offense. He'd be the coordinator and the play caller, but you have someone who's not Dowell Loggins. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's something to maybe think about. I don't know. I mean, that's probably a pipe dream at this point. I don't know. Maybe the Bears win 6 games again this season, but they're definitely regressing, guys. They have so much more talent too on this team. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Is it John Fox? Is he not getting this team ready to play? I have no idea. I have no idea what to make of the Chicago Bears team. I just know that they're not good, and a lot of it has to do with their offense. It's crazy the discrepancy between number of plays run compared to the other team. You're leaving your defense out to dry, and their defense makes games competitive. Honestly, they do. If the offense would just give them a chance. Because the defense, first of all, doesn't have enough talent on that side of the ball to dominate other offenses. Really, other offenses are going to drive down the field on them pretty consistently. But they're really good in the red zone. The Vic Fangio's teams usually are really good in the red zone, but they're not doing well this year in the red zone because they're always there because the offense is going 3 and out every other possession. So that's what happens. When you have 13 minutes in time of possession in favor of the other team every single week, you're screwed. You're leaving your defense out to dry. I want to see some growth. I want to see some growth within the young players. I want to see the offense take steps to being a legitimate offense. This is not a legitimate offense. This is just a whatever, do whatever. I'm going to do this. I hope it works. Let's run the ball to the left and hope it works. But let's shy away from the run game despite the fact that we have a decent offensive line that could create some gaps. And you need it because they don't have a quarterback. I'm sorry. They just don't. That can lead the team on his own to wins. I mean, they have the weapons. Eddie Royal is a very nice weapon when he's on the field. Absolutely. And that's what's most frustrating to me. You have a competent offensive coordinator. This team could be okay, maybe. Maybe okay. But right now they're not. They're bad. They're bad, and I'll keep saying that. The Bears haven't beaten the Lions since Lovie Smith was head coach. You guys know that? Isn't that sad? I remember the Bears had the Lions number for like 14 weeks in a row or something at one point. I mean, they never lost to the Lions. They usually destroyed them. But shoes on the other foot, and the Bears have been the laughingstock of Chicago for years now. Years. They fired Lovie Smith after a 10-6 season by barely missing the playoff. And why are we in this position that we are today? Because the general manager at the time made the wrong hire, and I will say this over and over again. That was definitely the underlying factor of why the Bears are bad today. Bad drafting has a lot to do with it, and that's on Phil Emery, even Jerry Angelo as well. But not signing Bruce Arians and you pick Mark Trestman, it just sets your franchise back even further. And I said that last week. If you guys checked out Behind the Pen with Dave and Ricky, it was a really good show. Hope to have them on again. But guys, man, this Chicago Bears team, I know a lot of you, I see you guys. See, a lot of you want them to just be terrible. 0-16. Hey, whatever. But the fact of the matter is they're going to probably win games this year. And I hope I'm rooting for a high draft pick. I hope they get into the top 5. I hope they get a top 5 pick this year. So how many wins is that going to take? 4? 5? Because there's a lot of parity in the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of decent teams out there that are probably going to be middle of the road. So if they end up going like 6-10, 7-9, they'll probably have roughly a top 10 pick, maybe an 8, 9, maybe looking outside of the top 10. But at this point of the season, 3 weeks in, you're telling me like it's over pretty much. And I had all the faith in the world, all the optimism in the world. And once again, the Chicago Bears just stiffed me, as always. What else is new, right? So, Bears, Lions, let me know what you guys think, if they're going to win. Why am I asking you this? You guys don't want them to win. Nobody wants the Bears to win anymore. Because at this point, you just want to see some change. You want to see something that we can be positive about. It's been so long since the Bears have even won at home. They're 1-8. Or whatever. Everything is terrible with the Chicago Bears. Yet I have to keep talking about them because that's it. That's how it is on Behind the Pen. All right, let me know what you guys think. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the Bears win. Why? I have no idea, but it's the Lions. They're going to be Lionsy somehow. I think this Bears offense kind of develops this consistency in the run game, and who knows? They surprise us. I'll probably be wrong once again, but that's okay. I'll be here for you guys in the Bears reaction video after Sunday's game, so be sure to check that out.